Hi everyone, welcome to the Diecast Collection Videos channel. Here is the G.I. Joe Combat Jet Skystriker Grumman F-14 Tomcat by Hot Wheels. This is part of the Hot Wheels Premium series. The Combat Jet Skystriker Grumman F-14 Tomcat, or I'm just going to call this as the Skystriker or Tomcat, is the vehicle that has been chosen by both Hasbro and Mattel for the collaboration to create this model. This is a nice looking model. It mirrors the original Skystriker, the big one, and also the Mega Bloks version that Mattel has created in their Mattel Creations site. The ones that where you need to build the blocks to create the figures and this jet model at a larger scale. And this is nice because having this model, I get to appreciate what the details of the larger vehicle, the one wherein the small original G.I. Joe figures can be placed in the jet so you can role play that they're flying, going to their destination. And now this one is in a smaller scale. This also has been packed into a nice looking package. Let me get that. It looks like this. The packaging, it has a special clamshell that also has the model, the base that we're gonna check out later. Here's the card back that contains the card art. Here's the back of the packaging. What's interesting about the packaging is instead of showing the paint or illustration of the Tomcat, it just shows these signature explosions that you can find in the G.I. Joe figures and not the vehicle itself. Maybe that's the same with the original vehicle? Not really sure. I don't have that, but it's interesting. We're going to see the details of the Skystriker starting in the front. The Skystriker looks very slim. It's just maybe made for speed and to maneuver. It does have the fuselage or the center. It has a painted front, the air vents, air turbines, and the wings on the sides. Very slim model. The cockpit window is in its clear plastic with some details in the interior. Let's look at the left side. We can see here that the fuselage, the center of the plane, has paint designs. This is most likely the same as the original. It has the G.I. Joe symbol. I'm not very sure about the 100 here, but it extends until the middle. And the paint design gets covered by the wing part. Going here towards the wing, we can see how the model has been assembled. And at the back, we have another paint design here, and that is in the form of the eagle behind this red circle. That is most likely the background for the illustration. There's even a paint design on top, and that is most likely a signal light in case of night flying. Let's take a look at the other side. It's the same. I'm not seeing any difference. It's still saying the paint design here, the G.I. Joe 100, and some paint striping just beneath the cockpit window. We can see a little bit of the interior from here. Then the air intakes or air turbines, or turbine, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to stick with turbine. that goes here supposedly, but it's just in this form of assembly hole, I guess. Then we go here, the wing, and the paint design on the back wing. That is in the form of the eagle. On the back wing, let me just remove this. There's also the thrusters. And here there's also a little wing just behind the side wing. At the back, we get to see more design of how the thrusters are assembled. Let me see, is this plastic? Yes, I guess this is plastic. It's made to be with casting detail of the thrusters. You can see the lines inside. And I guess these are diffusers at the back. And the wing is spread out at an angle. We can see some of the fuselage in the center from this angle. Let's take a look at the bottom. Here is the full bottom. And let's check out the details. Here's the fuselage. It's made to be one piece up to this point. And the name of the model and some information. There are some line divisions here, and that is for the panels. If you look at this part, there's a hole in here, and that is where you connect the base. It looks like a keyhole. And here's the bottom of the wing, and the other wings as well. It does have the Hot Wheels symbol here. Very nice. Let's see. Okay. Let's look at the top. Here's the top. And it has paint designs, and it looks really nice. So let's start here so we can also see what's in the interior as well. The window is kind of covering the interior from this angle. You can only see a little bit of the plane seats. And here's the front of the cone. The transparent window with some layers of plastic, so it appears to be covering the interior. Some text logos, maybe there are specifications. It's too small, maybe for the functions of each panel around here. And there are lines for the panels as well, so when this jet gets serviced, the technician can open the proper panels and check out the interior of the mechanics of the jet. And that's if you're gonna roleplay with it. And here are some of the paint designs on the wings on each side, again with the 100. And here's the one with the logo G.I. Joe. Let me just turn this around so we can read more of the paint design at the right view. So here, very nice. The paint designs are making the components of the Skystriker more technical, and that's a nice touch. There's even this diagram around here, and that is most likely the direction on how the plane should be placed in, let's just say, a carrier or landing pod, something like that, or runway to be more precise. And here are some more panel details, as you can see here, and more paint designs. Very small, says no step, and that is most likely for the warning for the technicians to be careful when going up and down when servicing the jet, so they don't fall. The material of the Tomcat is made to be lots of metal. So let me try to point out the metal parts. You can see a little bit on how this has been assembled. The metal parts are made with this, from here, the fuselage. You can see the difference of the paint, by the way. If you look at the paint here, it's kind of, let's just say, less shiny compared to the one with the metal parts. The metal parts are from the fuselage over here that continues to the middle panels, and then to the back around here. So these are made of metal, as I can understand. But here on the side wings, these are made around here, made of plastic. Let me see. Yeah, these are plastic, the large wings, but the fuselage, metal, and the back are made of metal, as I can see it. The plastic part also is present in the plastic window. Wow, we can see more of the interior from this angle. So let's see. The interior has two seats, one for the pilot in the front and the passenger or the navigator at the back, as I can understand. We can see here the components. So this has lots of metal, some plastic, and I think the way they did the assembly of this jet is to compensate for not having wheels, because putting wheels on this model might be a little bit difficult, if not impossible, because it's too small, as you can see here. So if they placed wheels, they had to maybe put it permanently or not. So if it's permanent, then if you're going to try to post this while flying using the flight stand, it's going to be rather unusual. And it also, with the lack of wheels, the designers created this flight stand that is included in the packaging. And this is a nice touch because the flight stand has the Hot Wheels logo applied on it in a subtle way. And here's the part to attach the base to the model here. So let me just put this down here, and let me get the jet. You can see this. In order to apply the base into the model, you just insert it into the slot gently and press it. And you can press it from here, but I recommend you press it from the bottom of the flight stand over here, the one with the Hot Wheels logo, to prevent the base from breaking, just to be safe. And now you have a flying jet that can be displayed, and that's pretty cool. Since this does not have any wheels, by the way, and you have the flight stand, if you look at the wing on each side, the plastic one, the large ones, they included a working feature for this Skystriker, and that is the moving wings. You just hold the fuselage or the body. Let me just put this down. Just hold the body, the center, and then you can just gently pull or push the wing at the angle that you want. So from here, maybe this is the pose that you want, and this is the starting pose in the packaging. If you want the pose to be like this, just like in the packaging, you can do so. Or this can be role played if you want to display it as if it's still in the landing dock. Maybe if you want this in mid-flight, you can just pull. As you can see here, I'm just pulling one wing, And the other wing also follows because most likely inside there are a couple of gear mechanisms connected with each other. Pretty nice. You can pull the wing at an angle that you like for the pose for this jet. Using the flight stand, here, I open the wing a little bit and display it like this, going towards the destination, or maybe the maximum angle like earlier, maybe for stability. Those are the posting possibilities for this jet, with or without the flight stand. And with the flight stand, you can just hold this and then maybe try to get the jet's eye view as you go along with your role play. Pretty cool. Aside from the working feature on the wings that you can pull forward and backwards for posing, another posing possibility is the cockpit window. If you look at it closely, it appears to be rather loose because it can be opened. If you have this model, just hold the window and then gently pull it up like this, and you'll be able to see more of the interior after you remove the cockpit window. The cockpit contains, like I mentioned earlier, a couple of plane seats, one for the pilot and the other one is for the navigator at the back. Here's a closer look. It's kind of blurry when I put this closer on the camera, but you'll be able to see the seats. And this is very nice. A nice addition to the detail that can be also be used as a posing option without the cockpit window. But it's kind of, let's just say, unusual, because in the real jet, I guess, the cockpit window can be erased like that, but this is a very small diecast model, so I think it's okay. Putting this down, here is the closer view of the cockpit window with the connectors both in the front and back. Let me also show you a little bit more of the base. We saw this earlier, the Hot Wheels symbol with the connector on the top, but it does have some information at the bottom, and that is for the copyright information. That will add to the posting possibilities of the model. So let me just put this back. Very easy. But of course you have to align it when I'm placing it back like this. Here's a closer look. And then putting it here. I think I got it backwards. I think it's backwards. Hook this and then push. That's how it is. Very easy. This ends my video art on the G.I. Joe Combat Jet Skystriker Grumman F-14 Tomcat by Hot Wheels. Thanks for watching, enjoy collection, and see you with the next model.